What's up, YouTubers? Welcome to the most excitingest podcast in chairs. This is the Heated Waves podcast.
Yes, sir.
I'm your boy T-Ball. Got some exciting free agency news for you. A lot of exciting stuff to bring to you here. But before we jump into that, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Mr. Bradley. What's up, sir?
What's up, man? Great to do it. Great to be here. Love doing sports. So let's talk about the free agency because this shit has been blowing up.
Yeah.
And I mean, guys going to places I'd never dreamed, especially the first guy we're talking about.
Been a lot of action.
And it's kind of blown my mind, and I'm a little pissed because the Packers haven't done much. So maybe they will. But let's start them off with
Jets
Tom Brady.
haven't done anything. Shit.
True. So let's start them off with Tom Brady and where he went.
Well, yeah, he just got signed. Mr. Tom Brady is officially a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, possibly replacing this young man here, Jameis Winston.
Boom.
We're going to have to find out. I guess Jameis Winston's going to stick around and be a backup to Mr. Tom Brady here. We're going to have to find out what happens. So bringing him in for Tampa, definitely a positive for Tampa. This is something they need, a guy that can still throw for as many yards as Jameis Winston, possibly. We'll have to see. But not throw as many interceptions.
No.
Which is weird to me because Tampa's more of a long ball team, in my opinion. My opinion is this good? Yes. For Tampa Bay. Is it good for Tom Brady? No. Welcome, like you said, welcome to the NFC, bub.
Yeah, I look at it and there's pros and cons, and really the only pros I see going over there from New England to Tampa Bay is the fact that you got better wide receivers and tight ends at this point because we don't know who New England's going to bring in, if Tom would have stayed or whatever. But, when you got Chris Godwin, you got Mike Evans, and you got O.J. Howard at tight end and Cameron Braid at tight end, and you got a couple good running backs there, and maybe who knows who they'll pick up and more guys out of free agency or through the draft. But the thing I look at, and I have to agree with you because it's a win-win for the Bucs, but it's also a lose for the Bucs. It's a win-win because you get Tom Brady, right?
Right.
It's a lose.
That's going to sell tickets alone.
That's what they brought him in for, I think, is the problem there. But the lose-lose situation of bringing Tom Brady in is what? He's 42.
Yeah.
What are you going to get? Maybe 1 or 2 years out of him, T-Ball? And then what? You're right back here again looking for a quarterback, especially if you get rid of Jameis Winston and don't keep him. I think, like I've said before, you should keep Jameis Winston as a backup and learn 1 year under Tom Brady at least before you decide to either trade him away, Jameis Winston, or, send him his walking papers, however you want to see it. But
I would have to agree there, though, as well.
Right.
How many years am I going to have to sit on the bench? Because he's been battling this since he's got drafted.
Right.
Him trying to keep his position with, what's his name coming in there, Fitzpatrick. He had a tough time. And with Jameis Winston now going to a backup again.
I don't know why they haven't got rid of him by now because they're spending so much money on him anyways.
And that too.
He was a first-round, pick, and you get a lot of money when you're a first-round pick. It's just the fact that why are you picking up Tom Brady? If you're going to get somebody, I get Tom Brady's good. Everybody thinks he's so good and great and amazing, the best of all time, whatever. He's not, because we'll see this year going from the 9th-ranked run blocking team with the Patriots and the 5th-ranked pass blocking, in which they only gave up 28 sacks. Well, guess what? You look at Buccaneers stats last year, 23rd in the run blocking, and 22nd in pass blocking, gave up 48 sacks to him. So you think he's going to get hit that many times to be able to get up? Because this is a different offensive line, and that's why Tom Brady has flourished. And I don't get why it never gets brought up like we were talking about.
Right.
Look what Matt Castle did when he came in for Tom Brady when he got hurt. That shows you all you need is a tremendous offensive line and a good coach. And your guy can throw, and look amazing because the very next year, Matt Castle signs for the Chiefs, big old deal, flops. Yeah. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen here with Tom Brady going to the Bucs because of this, unless they bring in new guys.
I mean, we did say don't play in the NFC.
It's a tougher
league. And he ended
league.
up signing in the NFC.
And in one of the toughest divisions. We haven't even talked about that.
Right. That's
the
a pretty
Panthers
tough
twice
definition.
a year.
And he's
Matt
going
Ryan
to a team,
twice a year.
And he's going to a team that was 7-9, finished 3rd in the division behind Drew Brees and the Saints, Matt Ryan and the Falcons. I mean, you may not have to worry about the Panthers with Cam Newton being gone, them having some coaching issues up there, but I still think this is a third-place team with or without Tom Brady.
Yeah, it is easily because good luck playing Drew Brees twice a year.
Well, granted, look at this, too. The Bucs if the Bucs were an AFC team, they'd be just fine. But
Right.
they're not. They're an NFC team. And the NFC passes a lot. And last year, they were horrible on the pass D. Great in the run
Yes.
D. In the run D, they were like top 3 in 3 different categories for run defense. But the NFC is a passing game. So if they don't step it up on, stopping the pass, Tom Brady can throw for all the fucking yards in the world. Doesn't matter if you can't win fucking ball games.
Not to mention the Bucs gave up 29 points per game last year. You think a 42-year-old arm is going to be able to pass like you're saying because it's an NFC pass league and keep up giving up 29 points a game? I don't care how good Tom Brady is. He is not going to come back from every single game. I get it. He's got a ton of comebacks in his resume. He's got a bunch of fourth quarter comebacks and wins and last minute drives, you name it. But not in this league, not in this division. And check out this fucking schedule real quick. Here's the teams he's playing. We already know he plays the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Saints twice a year, but you're also going to play the Rams, the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Packers at Las Vegas, and that could be tough because it's a new stadium. Nobody knows. And then you're going to go at Denver, at Chicago, and at Detroit. Detroit's hard to play no matter how good their team is or not.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. They could be a 1-win team. If you're playing them at home, if you beat them, you're not beating them by much.
I mean, this is a hell of a schedule to go through for Tom Brady to have to just be like, bloop, let's...
As compared to the Dolphins twice a year, the Bills twice a year, the Jets twice a year.
And
the Jets haven't even made any fucking moves yet. I've been watching these fucking things, these streams for these picks. I'm like, where the fucking Jets at?
Yeah, why haven't they got anybody? They've re-signed an offensive lineman and a cornerback. But back to Tom Brady. Like, this is a no-go for him. I get it. He's doing it, one, he said, for his family and his son and the school and whatever. But two, it's got to be for money.
It's got to be for a heavy payday and being somewhere nice for a change that's not balls
Freezing
cold all winter or all football season long.
And it's just crazy because I think the Bucs did it for a standpoint of let's try to win this next year. But I don't think it's Tom Brady. They, like I said, could win it after any other young guy out there. Literally any other young guy. Go after Philip Rivers. See if you can't get him on a hook. Pull him in. There's now Flacco's out there. He's been released. Who knows? I'm not high on Flacco, but I just don't like the move because Tom Brady's so old. And if he gets hit one time, mark my words this year, one good time, he's gonna get hurt playing for the Bucs unless they step up that offensive line.
I mean, like you said, they did allow a lot of sacks last year.
47, my fault. I said 48. It's actually 47. Here's the positive side of playing for the Bucs.
That could be Jameis Winston's dumbass just holding the ball too long, too.
True. 7 of these 9 losses the Bucs had last year. 7 of those 9 losses, like I said, were by single digits or less. And in those 7 games, Jameis Winston threw 18 interceptions. That's more than 2 a game.
Wow.
So that's a positive for Tom Brady because he, like we said, he protects the ball. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. So if they're just losing 7 of 9 games by single digits, maybe it doesn't look so bad for Tom Brady. But that's the only positive side besides the players, the better offense that I can see of why he'd go there. Otherwise, I got nothing else on it.
I look at it like this: as far as how much help I see Tom Brady giving you, I see the only thing you doing instead of turning, finishing 7-9, he might be able to go into turn this team around into like a 9-7 team. But that still leaves you second in division behind a very powerful Saints team.
Yeah,
because the Falcons were 7-9 as well last year.
Yeah, and
but
they were trash at
a
first.
lot. Yeah, they struggled at the beginning hard. And even if you do somehow win that division, you're still going to go have to play teams and Aaron Rodgers, tough defenses like the Bears.
You got to play Seattle, the Niners.
Rams, Seattle, the Niners. You're going to play a lot of really fucking good teams.
Yeah.
It's just, come playoff time, as far
Dallas, as much as I
the
don't want to
NFC
say it.
goes, like we've been said on several different podcasts, the NFC is just all
Loaded.
around when it comes
Loaded.
to playoff time. It's a little different for the AFC. It's just basically the same teams.
Predictable.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Tom Brady down in Tampa. All of our quotes and sayings and all the things we said to him about Brady are about to probably be basically proved or disproved in this next coming season.
Absolutely. I have to agree. Because
so if he disproves me, then I'll be like, yeah, Tom Brady motherfucking GOAT.
he's better than what I thought. He turned this shit team that hasn't done nothing since, Gruden came in there years and years ago and they whooped the Raiders in that Super Bowl. Other than that, the Bucs have been nothing ever.
Right.
So maybe this is a good thing. If I'm a Bucs fan, though, one more quick thing. If I'm a Bucs fan, I'm not getting that excited of Tom Brady. I'm excited because he's a good quarterback, and I know he's better than Winston.
Right.
But I know he's old, and how many more years can he give me?
It's a hope.
So. Yeah, it's one of those things. So moving on.
Yeah, so the next guy we're going to jump into here is going to be another old guy.
Underrated.
And our boy, former San Diego Charger, Phillip Rivers. As we know, as of the end of last year, he announced that he was basically washing his hands of L.A., and we'd had a discussion about where he might go.
Yep.
Where did you guess? Where did you say he might go?
I said he should have went to the Broncos.
To the Broncos?
Yeah.
Instead of Joe Flacco? I remember that conversation because you were starting to harp on him as well.
Yeah, I'm not harping. Look what happened to him. He got fucking cut. So, boom.
Okay. So, this guy right here, Phillip Rivers, says he's done with L.A., San Diego, what have you. We had to talk about him. I said he would go to the Colts. Guess where he ends up going?
Ding, ding, ding. The Colts for a year and $25 million. I don't like the 1 year deal.
Joins T.Y. Hilton over there.
Dontrell Inman.
Good offense. Great
Jack
offensive
Doyle.
line to be on right now. This was a great move for not only the Indianapolis Colts after having a retirement out of Andrew Luck, but having shit for brains over there who looked like he was scared to death behind the center. They bring in a nice veteran
to help Jacoby Brissett.
And, 1 year, $25 million, that's not too bad for a guy that's a little long in the tooth. But in my opinion, can still play some pretty good football. The question is this different atmosphere, this different scheme, this different division going to boast well for Andrew Luck? As far as I look at it, if I'm the Colts, Phillip Rivers, sorry. If I'm the Colts and I'm Phillip Rivers, I see nothing but good news for this situation on both sides of the fence.
Right.
Would you agree?
The only thing, like I said, I don't agree with is the contract length. I would have given him 2 years. What are you going to do with 1 year? You know what I mean?
He's in the AFC West, or was, and that team went 5-11. The Colts went 7-9, and they're still battling. Is basically a three-way battle between them, the Titans, and the Texans.
Right.
The Texans just had it together, and so did the Titans. And with that loss of Andrew Luck, I feel like this is a flip of script. I see the Colts going 10-6, the Texans going 9-7, and the Titans going 7-9 possibly.
Well, we'll see who head to head with Houston. I think that's probably the better of the matchups is Houston and the Colts here. I don't really care for Tennessee. I think they just rode the back of Derrick Henry, and now teams have figured out how to stop them and to beat them or whatever. So
it was a good idea to stay in the AFC for him. A league that runs the ball, and he's used to that playing in the AFC West. So honestly, I think you're kind of right in a sense. If you're going to give him 1 year, why not give him like 28?
Well, when we were talking about this, and I said if you're going to give him a deal, he should be anything worth 18 to 20 million, and he got one for 25. So I mean, it kind of gets it's quite a bit of money though for a 37-year-old quarterback. That
I didn't see how much was guaranteed, but
yeah, me neither. But they have a favorable schedule here with the Indianapolis Colts. I'm looking at it. I mean, they got to go at Chicago, but then they're going to play at Cleveland, and who knows how good Cleveland will be this year. At Detroit, of course. 2 games against Houston, 2 games against Jacksonville and Tennessee. Here's where it kind of gets tough, though. You got Baltimore, Green Bay, and the Vikings. Other than that, Bengals, Jets, Jags, Steelers, who aren't that good. It's a favorable schedule for the Colts here, and they could easily win this division with him. I think this is the best fit Phillip Rivers could have, anywhere he could have went, is them, because they have a ton of money still, and they can bring more players in with him.
Yeah.
I think they need another guy opposite of T.Y. Hilton that's, up to that caliber, and hopefully they can find that.
I forgot who their tight end was.
It's Jack Doyle. It was Eric Ebron, but he's going to be and the Packers are actually looking at him. But he's going to be a free agent, so I don't know why.
I think, yeah, if the Colts can maybe piece it together just a skosh better on the offense, or offensive line is just fantastic. You get another piece in there. Running back situation seems all right.
12th and 7th in the offensive line, 12th run, 7th in the passing last year.
This is nothing but positive. I think it worked out for everybody in this situation. Indianapolis gets a veteran, good quarterback.
Underrated.
Phillip Rivers gets a nice little payday, and he still has options available for him next year if he still decides to play football. I think one of the things is when he was actually leaving San Diego or LA, whatever you want to call them, I think he, in the back of his mind, he had the consideration of retiring altogether.
Oh, yeah.
And he was just like, well, let's just see what happens if they're willing to let me out of San Diego.
Right.
And see what happens
Test
if I
the
go
waters.
somewhere next year.
Test the waters, see what happens.
He goes, and he probably sat there and goes, I just want 1 year at this amount of money. And then the Colts reach out to him real fucking quick.
Well, one more quick thing on him for me is I think the problem always was that he just couldn't win with the Chargers because he never won a playoff game, or well, he did, but he never went to the Super Bowl ever with them. And I think the Colts give him a better shot division-wise and just team-wise because of, one, offensive line and all that. But two, just because look what they did for all these other guys. Look who they've had come through there. You've had Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, and now you get to have the pleasures of Phillip Rivers, just another veteran, good, wholesome guy, great guy in the locker room, and a great leader.
Like I said, I see nothing but positives, for Phillip Rivers in this situation. So we'll have to see what happens.
And
hopefully he can stay healthy.
Yep. Just I wish him the best anyway because he's a young guy. I kind of thought he was going to go to the Patriots was my last thing. Thought maybe he'd go over to the Patriots. Whenever, the Patriots found out, like, Tom Brady was like, hey, put out the tweet and all the thank yous to the Patriots and was like, I'm done with you guys. I really am going somewhere else. Yeah. Now right then I was like, the Patriots should grab Phillip Rivers. Because I was like, man, that's the next best thing. He's younger, 5 years younger than Brady, and he'd be just as good at that offensive line. Give him an offensive line that he's never had before like that. So
it's a pretty good question as what the Patriots are going to do as far as their quarterbacks.
Yeah, I have no idea. They're kind of screwed right now. So I don't know.
Well, moving on.
Yep.
My next guy we talked about in another podcast as far as these big free agency guys is a guy that kind of had a rough year behind Tannehill, Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota has now, as we all know, become an Oakland Raider.
So weird.
Chomping at the bit.
I just don't get it, T-Ball. Do you like it? Do you think it's a good fit? And do you think he'll be the starter? Yeah, hit you with that shit real quick, huh?
I don't like it. There was a lot of different teams Marcus Mariota could have gone to.
Oh, yeah. Even AFC-wise.
Marcus Mariota, I believe, only played in 6 games. He was 2-4, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But you're trying to come into a place that already has a quarterback
Derek Carr
threw for 4,000 yards, had 21 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Not a bad year, just didn't have a lot going as far as that. So... I guess the real question is can Mariota come into this organization that's still trying to piece things together and take a job from Derek Carr?
I don't think so.
Do I think it's a good idea as far as the Oakland Raiders go? Yeah, I think it's a great idea that you got Mariota. If you're thinking whether you're thinking about starting him or not, you have the option of Derek Carr or Mariota. If either one gets hurt, at least you have a guy that already knows the playbook. Like, let's say, hypothetically, you start Mariota, and he goes down. I mean, you have a fairly solid guy.
Knows the system.
Knows the system. And those are good options to have if you're upstairs in the organization.
Right.
The other part of that question is kind of hard to answer because I don't really know a whole lot about what the Oakland Raiders have finished up completely. They may have gotten a lot of people like you were mentioning earlier, but they may have gotten rid of a lot of people that were key aspects of that organization as well. We're going to have to find out. But as far as the starter goes, who am I starting? We'll have to see in training camp. But if I'm smart, I'm sticking with Derek Carr and telling Mariota, if you can take his job, I want you to be the starter.
Yeah, because you want them challenged, and that's why you bring them in, and that's probably why they brought them in, like you're saying, is they're challenging Carr because Carr just. They always thought he was going to be that guy, and all the Raiders fans thinks he's just a fucking hot cake.
Everybody thought that about Derek Carr's brother, too.
Right.
And he didn't do well.
He did okay a couple of years, but that was about it. But Derek Carr is just not the guy. I mean, I thought Gruden would be smart enough to see that when he came in and took over the team last year and had his pick. Like, he has an opportunity here. I'm glad he brought him in. You're right. That's a great bring-in because it challenges him. Do I see him taking it over the spot? I sure hope so. It's just that bringing him into a new scheme, new team, new coach, new owners, and all this stuff to get prepared for before the season starts, and it's already going to be delayed. Hell, we might not even have a preseason this year because of this virus. So if I'm looking at it like that and everything gets pushed back and it's just not enough time for me, unless he comes in and just starts clicking just right away, okay, sure, you're the starter, bud.
Right.
But if he can't show me that, I'm just going to have to stick with Carr or get rid of Carr and bring in somebody else,
So, yeah, you're kind of like the same mentality as me. Like, I'm looking at you to be the starter, but until you can prove that you are the starter, Derek Carr's our guy.
Yeah, and it's just...
That's how I have it in my mind.
Just don't think Carr is going to go for that. I think he's going to open up and be like, you know what? I want to be traded, or I want off this team. Let me get my chance out there. But if I'm Derek Carr, I wouldn't do that because this market of quarterbacks right now is so huge. Your value will decrease or go somewhere you don't want to go, like the Bengals or something, like because they're looking for a quarterback still. They don't know if it's Andy Dalton. But Oakland is. I mean, either way, whoever the starter is, just going off of last year's stats of this offensive line rakes, I can't believe the Oakland was this good. 5th in run blocking, averaging 4.6 yards a carry, and they were 6th in the passing protection last year. And that kind of reflects his stats of not throwing so many interceptions. So if you give Mariota some time back there like that and, only getting sacked 29 times out there, then I think it's just a flip a coin, except for the fact that Derek Carr has the experience there. He knows the system. He knows the playbook. He's got the chemistry with the guys.
Yeah, I'm keeping him. I would have to say, I'm keeping him as the starter until Mariota can come in and prove himself. Right. And then, like I said, if Derek Carr goes down or isn't working out or can't get adapted to the new people that I've gotten in here, then at least I have the option of going with Mariota as well. Yeah, and
you can bench him.
Because tell me who's behind Derek Carr right now before Mariota came in.
I don't know, honestly.
No idea. Y'all probably don't even know, do you?
Raiders
Unless you're a Raiders fucking fan, yeah. So, we'll just have to see what happens over there in Oakland, but I think this definitely does open the door for them.
Yep.
I think this is a positive on there, and I'm not so much... If I'm Marcus... I think at a point, if I'm Derek Carr, I'm a little frustrated by this decision. I mean, what are y'all trying to do here? Like,
he needs challenge, though. He needs pushed.
What are y'all bringing him? Because that'd be the first thing I would say if I'm him. I'm like, so is he the starter?
Right.
What are we doing with him?
Yeah. Am I still your starter?
And how much more money am I getting? I want to take another look at my shit.
Cha-ching.
I don't know. It's a weird situation for them, but...
interesting. Yeah. This next one's interesting.
Yeah, so we've got the Carolina Panthers.
It's so weird.
Cam Newton's having some issues. The Carolina Panthers basically released a statement that said, and Cam Newton as well, saying that he will no longer be your North Carolina Panther next year. So the big question is who takes the reins? Mr. Bradley.
I'm not. I don't even know what's going on here.
This might be a little interesting if you guys haven't heard who the Panthers just picked up as their
so the
starting
Panthers just picked up Teddy Bridgewater, and I don't understand. This is just so weird and so just off the and a big deal. If you're thinking about it, it's 3 years, $63 million. You're giving a guy who's not played but 16 games in the last 3 fucking seasons because of he blew out his knee. If you don't remember that, where he was just gone for the whole season and played 1 game. The very first game, he blew it out. Yeah. And then they were like, oh, God, what do we do? We have nobody, blah, blah, blah. And after that, he's just went downhill. And I understand, like, some people are going to be like, oh, my God, he got all this money. He's so good. He's so good. Look what he did for the Saints last year.
5-0 with a 68% completion, 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Some people would say that's not too shabby.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Look at the team. The offensive line, ranked number 1 in run. Number 1 in the run blocking, in the run game, averaging 5 yards a carry. Number 3 in the pass blocking, gave up 25 sacks. That was it. That's like one a game, one and a quarter a game. Then you got the running back. Then you got Michael Thomas, the best, in my eyes, best wide receiver in the game.
Yeah. It's easy when guys get open.
And Ted Ginn, he had an okay year, but he's still a good wide receiver. There's another guy I'm forgetting. I can't think of his name. But then also you have at tight end, you had Jared Cook balling out of control. And yeah, you're going to ball when you have that kind of offense in front of you, and a defense that was pretty good as well. A defense that didn't give up one 100-yard rusher. So it's not like they had to play from behind all the time. He just got so lucky because of all this. Now he's getting a huge contract. I say fuck that. I would have just stuck with Cam Newton, T-Ball.
I wouldn't have stuck with Cam Newton, but I definitely wouldn't have went with Teddy Bridgewater.
If I'm going to throw $63 billion at somebody, there's other guys out there that are much more talented in my eyes than Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that bringing in Teddy Bridgewater was the worst thing they could have done. But to give him that much money, that's $20 million a year for 3 fucking years.
21 a year,
dude. That's insane. I'm not paying Teddy Bridgewater that much money. You haven't done enough in my eyes to show me you deserve
one good season.
$20 fucking million. That's $5 less million than Phillip Rivers is making in his 1 year that he's going to be over there. So, and they're not even close to fucking comparison.
No.
So this is, I don't like it.
It's disappointing because now. Where's Cam Newton going to go? Because
Carolina's last in the division last year, so, I mean, could they have done any worse? Maybe possibly by staying with Cam?
I think they would have done better with Cam Newton. Maybe after, well, we would have to see because he just had shoulder surgery. He had that foot problem, and I think he got surgery on that as well, but I'm not for sure on that one. But to come back from both of those, in which you're quarterback and you need that shoulder and you need that foot to run because he's a running quarterback.
That's right.
I don't know how well he would have been. So maybe they thought this was a good thing to do because Teddy Bridgewater looked so good last year. If you give him protection, of course, any quarterback's going to be good. We've said that from day one.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's Teddy Bridgewater. Like, I would have much rather had Jameis Winston than Teddy.
Right.
I would have gave Jameis Winston 3 years, $63 million to go be the Panthers quarterback. It's just, I mean, it's the same thing.
Pretty good fit over there for Jameis Winston.
Same division.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's he would get,
maybe they're just trying to make a quick move, trying to get something done.
Well, he's not the future is my thing. If I'm signing a quarterback for a 3-year deal or longer, or signing a quarterback in general and giving up my guy I've had his whole career, I'm looking for a future guy. And Teddy Bridgewater's not the future, T-Ball. What do you think? Is there somebody else that could have?
I would have to disagree. He definitely can be the future. He's young.
No.
He can be.
I don't.
Maybe if he gets into the right scheme.
If he gets the weapons, but look who they have. Who they got?
Well, who's to say that's... I mean, I'm not saying that right this next year that, yes, Teddy Bridgewater is going to get it done.
Right.
But I'm saying you give the Carolina Panthers a year or two, maybe 3... Teddy Bridgewater some weapons, he might be one of the top quarterbacks in the league. With him being able to run the ball like he is, that seems to be the new era. Quarterbacks who can not only throw, but run real fucking fast. And Teddy Bridgewater can be a threat. He could possibly be the next Lamar Jackson if he can get behind the right people and get in the right organization. Who's know? It's all hindsight. But
it's going to be tough whenever they have the 28th ranked pass.
This is going to be a tough
protection
situation.
Last year.
Plus, you're going from a team that you were on who's used to winning to a team that is not been that good over the last couple years.
I don't like it. If I'm Teddy Bridgewater, I'm looking at it. Look, I'm going from the 3rd best pass protection team to the 28th worst.
He's going to have to work a lot harder, bub.
Oh my God, yes, and it's just not looking good. I just don't like it. Moving on, though.
Moving on, we have some honorable mentions for you guys.
Yes, sir.
Big name guy. Los Angeles Rams cut today.
Mr.
Todd Gurley.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going with Clay Matthews. I was like, ex-Packer. But yeah, I do not understand that.
Released today. Let out a tweet saying, fired on my day off. Can you believe it? Interesting move. With him battling injuries and stuff like this, we were complaining a couple podcasts ago about what his situation is and what he had going on, and it's kind of hard to figure out, but I think a lot of teams, with or without those injuries, a lot of teams are going to be chomping at the bit, and maybe that was the whole issue that it began with, is maybe he wanted his payday. I know he was having issues with getting paid.
Well, they just weren't playing him either.
I think he wanted it out anyways, and the whole situation was, pay me or I'm not going to give you 100%. I think that's what we saw in the playoffs, and his attitude may not have been the best, so they weren't giving him the carries that he wanted anyways, and that just stacked on top of it. But apparently, I think he may have gotten what he wanted. We'll have to see, but the next question was where did Todd Gurley land?
I can guarantee you someone picks him up.
Oh, he's going to get picked up quick.
If not, he'll retire.
Have to see what's going on with him. Moving on, Mr. Drew Brees did re-sign with the Saints at 2 years, $25 million a year. Obviously, I figured that's what's going to happen. That he's going to start there and finish his career there. I don't think he's leaving Louisiana anytime soon. Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
Former Packer.
Former Cowboy.
Now a Texan.
They needed the help after DeAndre Hopkins just
That's what
departed.
I was going to say. A possible try at replacing DeAndre Hopkins.
No.
I'm not saying that you can replace him. I'm saying another form of their chemistry to put key components into place to make sure, they can try to reassemble something after losing somebody that good.
Yep.
Looks like here he got 3 years, $27 million.
Yeah.
$18.75 million guaranteed. Can you believe that? Randall Cobb, who's been battling injuries, 3 years, $27 million.
Yeah.
I'm not paying him that much.
No.
He's not that good anymore. He was good. He had Aaron Rodgers, but
right.
Who's he got over there? Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, it's a
nowhere near.
grade.
Nowhere near.
grade.
Brian Bulaga, former Packer, now a Charger. Real question is, who's their quarterback?
Yeah, who's he blocking for? The wind?
That's what I'm saying. Where are you going to block for, Bulaga?
Let me go Taylor.
Over here. Well, let's bring you over here, get you rehabbed. We'll get you some money, and we'll let you block for us. But we have no idea who you're going to be blocking for.
Apparently, Tyrod Taylor, I got some inside sources from Tony the other day when we was golfing with him. He said that Tyrod Taylor is who they're sticking with right now unless somebody else comes available. I'm like, wow.
Tyrod.
Yeah, he's garbage. Always has been.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll have to see how that works out for Bulaga. I'm a little sad to miss him, but whatever. Jason Witten.
I don't understand this.
Making a move over Marcus Mariota making a move. They just added Jason Witten, so Rivers or Carr has possibly a new weapon. Didn't get how much he was getting over there. I can't imagine it'd be too much. If I'm the Oakland Raiders, I'm not going to pay him that much money.
Right.
Let's see what happens. Good luck, Jason Witten. You should have wrapped it up last year.
2 years ago, I don't get why the fuck the Raiders would want him when they have a ballin' ass tight end as all right now. Anyway,
what I don't understand is why the Cowboys would bring him in and then just let him go the next year. Like,
because they're like, oh shit,
let me come back and help you guys out, but
do nothing to get us.
Do nothing, and not only that, you know what? I still want to play football, but I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck? I don't know. But speaking of the Dallas Cowboys, Amari Cooper got his payday at 5 years, $100 million.
Slap in the face to fucking
$20
Dak Prescott.
million a year, yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, you guys can't even get it figured out with Dak. What are you doing giving this guy that much money? A guy who only played half the season was injured.
Not only that, a guy that has to have a quarterback throw him the fucking ball in order for him to get those catches, touchdowns, yards, you name it. So why would you pay the guy who gets the balls received rather than the guy that throws it to him, because he's the most important guy on the offense? But okay, sure, Dallas and Jerry Jones, you guys are idiots over there. Not to mention hiring. I mean, they got Mike McCarthy too.
Right.
Like, come on. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know. Cowboys need to pull their head out of their fucking ass, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm happy about in news here, former Minnesota Vikings Stephon Diggs is now a Buffalo Bill. But
that puts them in the driver's seat.
They got him for 4 picks, and only one of them being a first-rounder.
That's totally fine with me. I would have done it for the Packers.
I'm glad he's out of there, but
dude, that puts
Minnesota let him go for peanuts, bro.
Yeah, Bills are now in the top position for that AFC East because Tom Brady's now gone. So now you pick up Stephon Diggs, and that's what they were missing. The Bills were just missing wide receivers and a little bit of offense like that. Boom, they got a really good guy, a great guy that could catch you 110, 20 balls a year.
Yeah.
Easily and have 14, 15, 100 yards.
I mean, Buffalo made a perfect move. And
yes.
As long as Stephon Diggs stays healthy and he can stay consistent, this was a great move for the Buffalo Bills.
Yep, so that's awesome, and I'm glad he's gone. See ya.
Yeah,
don't have to play you twice a year.
Division, so. Case Keenum.
Yeah, that's a weird move going to the Browns.
Now a Brown, 3 years, $18 million, $10 million
Hey, it's a good
guaranteed
backup.
for a garbage. Nah, that's trash.
Dude.
You might as well just sit a bag of stink ass garbage in the corner and pay it fucking
Do you see my face right now?
$10 million guaranteed.
You're insane. You think he's that?
Case Keenum.
Okay,
Case fucking Keenum.
hang on. Chase Daniel better than him?
Everybody's better than
You're
Case
fucking
Keenum.
stupid. You're stupid.
Didn't Chase Daniels take his spot somewhere?
No, sir.
I don't know
No.
about
Case
but
Keenum is much better as a backup than I guess a starter. So that's a good fit for him. It
doesn't make a difference. They got the Oklahoma boy over there. They'll be just fine with him.
Yep.
You ain't gonna get no progression out of Case Keenum. Case Keenum ain't gonna improve that football team.
No. He's a good backup.
I guess third string.
Okay.
Whatever. That's all I had.
Yes, sir. This is the Heat of Waves podcast. I'm Mr. Bradley.
I'm T-Ball.
I'm glad you guys were here with us today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit all the buttons like we always say down at the bottom. Subscribe, do your thing, and hit up the Facebook page at Heated Waves with a Z.
Click the likes.
Again, I'm Mr. Bradley.
I'm T-Ball.
And thank you guys so much. Again, this was the NFL Crazy Free Agents, and there is just more to come, but we want to hit up what we thought our opinions were on these top guys and give honorable mentions. Keep it locked on the Heat of Waves podcast. Peace, guys.
Later.